significance of the humanistic geography in human geography, then conceptual and methodological development and changing paradigm and humanistic geography. After that, your block 2 will be covered. Then I will move to your block 3 paper. Then humanistic geography means it is the common between of the behavioral and humanistic geography, though they differ significantly from each other in terms of emphasis. The behavioral geographer emphasizes more on quantitative and factual aspects, which were discarded by the humanistic geographer in favor of understanding the world and environment based on the experience of the human interacted with the environment. बिहेवियरल ज्योग्राफी एक्चुअली क्या है? जो ह्यूमनिस्टिक ज्योग्राफी का जो फेवर था, जो ह्यूमनिस्टिक ज्योग्राफर को जो फेवर करते थे, उनका ऑब्जेक्टिव था कि उनका अंडरस्टैंडिंग था कि एनवायरनमेंट और जो वर्ल्ड है उनका किस तरह से ह्यूमन के साथ इंटरेक्टिंग है, उनके किस तरह से ह्यूमन के साथ इंटरेक्टिंग विद एनवायरनमेंट के साथ है. इन अदर वर्ड, behavioral geography put objective facts at the center of analysis. They treated human as respondent to the different stimuli, opportunities, challenges, and tried to make the difference in terms of responses each individual offers to this stimuli in different situation. In other words, we can say that the central focus of humanistic geography is, though human are a part of nature, their interaction with dynamic environment is a continuous process of transforming each other in terms of the four central aspects. क्या क्या है? जैसे कि ह्यूमन अवेयरनेस होगा, एक ह्यूमन एजेंसी होगा, ह्यूमन कॉन्शियसनेस होगा और एक ह्यूमन क्रिएटिविटी होगा. ये जितने सारे अप्रोचेस है, इट फॉलोड बाय द humanistic geography is to understand the phenomena in their totality, where the nature means your environment and the human are understood as not only inseparable but also incomplete without the other. वाई फ्यू तुआन, ये एक चाइनीज ज्योग्राफर थे. इन्होंने आइडेंटिफाइड किया था 5 मेजर थीम्स ऑफ इंक्वायरी इन ऑर्डर टू अंडरस्टैंड the interrelationship between geographical activities and the way phenomena reveal the quality of human awareness. क्या क्या इन्होंने आइडेंटिफाई किया था? 5 जो थे, इन्होंने पहला आइडेंटिफाई किया हुआ था द नेचर ऑफ ज्योग्राफिकल नॉलेज एंड इट्स रोल इन ह्यूमन सर्वाइवल. जो नेचर ऑफ ज्योग्राफिकल नॉलेज, जो रोल है ह्यूमन का, वो एनवायरनमेंट में हम किस तरह से सर्वाइवल कर सकते हैं. सेकेंड था द रोल ऑफ टेरिटरी इन ह्यूमन बिहेवियर. हम जिस टेरिटरी में रह रहे हैं उसमें ह्यूमन का किस तरह का बिहेवियर था और किस तरह का, जैसे कि जो ह्यूमन टेरिटरी है वो बिहेवियर डिफरेंट रीजन डिफर करता है. प्लेस ऑफ आइडेंटिफिकेशन. थर्ड था द इंटर रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन क्राउडिंग एंड प्राइवेसी एज मेडिएटेड बाय कल्चर. फोर्थ है द रोल ऑफ नॉलेज एज एन इन्फ्लुएंस ऑन लाइवलीहुड. ठीक है. फिफ्थ है द इन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ रिलीजन ऑन ह्यूमन एक्टिविटी. Tuan also introduced the concept of topophilia to describe the effective bond that develops between people and place. The next is your significance of humanistic geography in human geography. क्या क्या significance होना चाहिए humanistic geography का human geography में? First, some of the important contributions made by the humanistic geographers in the field of human geography as identified DLA are: first is it treats geography as a process rather than an outcome of knowledge. ठीक है. The process of transformation of abstract space into an experimental place and landscape enriched by the specifies of local experimental features, bringing nature, culture together to develop a holistic understanding of the phenomena. सेकेंड था उसका गिव इम्पोर्टेंस टू ह्यूमन सेल्फ अवेयरनेस, सेल्फ कॉन्शियसनेस एंड एक्सपीरियंस बेस्ड सेल्फ अंडरस्टैंडिंग एज की टू critical thinking. Since it treats geography as something which is lived and branched of knowledge dealing with geographers, so the role of value, meaning and experience is sorry experiences in place of discrete facts brought it closer to humanities, making it a living discipline. The inclusion of qualitative information along with the quantitative data made is a truly holistic discipline. नेक्स्ट है आपका मेथोडोलॉजिकल डेवलपमेंट, क्या क्या उन्होंने डेवलपमेंट किया जिससे हमारा पैराडिग्म ह्यूमनिस्टिक ज्योग्राफी में चेंजेस हुआ है. ठीक है, यहाँ पे इन्होंने जो पैराडिग्म का मतलब क्या है, ए पैराडिग्म इज द कॉन्स्टिलेशन ऑफ वैल्यूज, assumptions, method and examples shared by a given scientific community, making it what it is. A paradigm shape what scientists think about something before they think it. A paradigm is a shape what scientists think about something before they think it. The logic of scientific discovery, there are some important highlightings of the debate are according to Thomas Kuhn and Karl Popper. They have some logic about the scientific discovery. According to Kuhn, subjective, relative and historic, but according to Karl, objective, realistic and positive. उसके हिसाब से सब्जेक्टिविटिस्ट होना जरूरी नहीं है काल के हिसाब से, लेकिन थॉमस के हिसाब से सब्जेक्टिविटिस्ट होना जरूरी है. खून के हिसाब से, थॉमस के हिसाब से साइंटिफिक प्लुरलिज्म एंड मेथोडोलॉजिकल ओपन माइंडनेस का होना जरूरी है, लेकिन काल के हिसाब से द यूनिफाइड कंसेप्शन ऑफ साइंस, एक यूनिफाइड कंसेप्शन ऑफ साइंस होना जरूरी है. थॉमस के हिसाब से मोस्टली डेवलप्ड हिज आर्गुमेंट ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ मॉडर्न साइंस. इनका जितना भी सारा आर्गुमेंट था थॉमस का, वो सारा मॉडर्न साइंस पे था, लेकिन कार्ल का जो था वो सारे सब्जेक्ट को डोमिनेट करता था. कौन कौन से सब्जेक्ट? वो सारे फिजिकल, बायोलॉजिकल एंड सोशल साइंस के थंडर्ड अगेंस्ट एवरी डोमिनेंट टेंडेंसी इन फिजिकल, बायोलॉजिकल एंड सोशल साइंस. थॉमस वॉज डीपली कमिटेड टू ट्रेडिशन, वो कमिटेड था फुल्ली पूरा ट्रेडिशन पे. लेकिन यहाँ पे कार्ल ओपन सोसाइटी एंड कमिटेड टू एन आइडियोलॉजी इज एन आउटराइट क्राइम. ठीक है, ये बहुत सारे हैं पॉइंट्स जो इन दोनों को हाईलाइट्स करता था. द लॉजिक ऑफ साइंटिफिक थ्योरी. The debate between the two schools of thought represented by Thomas Kuhn and Karl Popper had great impact on the geographer in addressing paradigm shift in the discipline, and geographers such as Preston E. James in his famous book All Possible Worlds, A History of Geographical Ideas, with T.W. Freeman's book, 100 Years of Geography, mapped the journey of geography in the modern period, leaving behind the classical period. In the backdrop of the debate in modern geographical thought, identified the following dominant trend in the discipline. क्या क्या dominant trend था? The encyclopedic trend, the educational trend, the colonial trend, the generalizing trend, the political trend, the specialization trend. ये सब ट्रेंड था. एनसाइक्लोपेडिक ट्रेंड में इसमें था कि जितने सारे हमारे ज्योग्राफी रिलेटेड नॉलेज है, or collection of information particularly about the region जिसको हम नहीं जानते थे, like North America. It was a continuation of the train started by the exploration, explore करके during the age of discovery. ये तो नॉर्थ अमेरिका तो बाद में बना. It also included information about the newly colonized North America continent. The educational trend में, according to Marx, the idea of the ruling class are in very epoch the ruling ideas, that is the class which is ruling material force of society is at the same time its ruling intellectual. Colonial trend में the big colonial power, particularly Britain, considered consolidating their vast colonial empire and concentrated on developing new scheme of the division of labor, resources base and market center on the metropolitan center. Generalizing trends में the information and collection of data were compiled into an encyclopedia of colonial traditions, which in turns were used to inventing your new tools and methods of interpretations and generalization which were missing in previous paradigm. Political trend में आपका आएगा the discipline with a rich repertoire of data on resources, communities, market, territories was used for making and redrawing of the world map. Specialization trend में the individuation of knowledge with ever growing information in different field made it impossible for an individual discipline to handle, compile and interpret if not master this information. उसके बाद है आपका द एक्सप्लोरेटरी पैराडिगम. द एक्सप्लोरेटरी पैराडिगम क्या है? द डिस्कवरी ऑफ न्यू रीजन, their environment, communities, and their ways of life was exhilarating, but the collection and classification of information about the unknown posed great challenges to the geographer. The first and foremost challenge was to finance these expectations. Geographer across the world mobilized the required resources from different sources, including the contributions from merchants, societies, geographical societies, the role of the Royal Geographical Societies, American Geographical Societies, etc. द पैराडिगम ऑफ एनवायरमेंटल डिटर्मिनिज्म, इसमें क्या है? कलेक्शन ऑफ न्यू इंफॉर्मेशन. इसमें कलेक्शन ऑफ न्यू इंफॉर्मेशन है. एक्सप्लोरेटरी में था डिस्कवरी ऑफ न्यू रीजन एंड देयर एनवायरमेंट. इसमें है कलेक्शन ऑफ न्यू इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट द न्यू लैंडस्केप, people and culture, and the cataloging of this information were vital to the growth of discipline, but this proved highly inadequate to satisfy the challenges of the scientific age. The paradigm of possibilism. Possibilism में क्या है? Obeyation of the environmental determinism towards establishing generalization and reducing human to passive agent was responded to by French historian Lucien Febvre. He presented humans as possessors of immense possibilities and alternatives embedded in different culture. Regional paradigm क्या है? Regional paradigm में the British geographers did not remain silent spectators to the changing paradigms in the discipline. They were affronted to many opportunities offered to them in terms of enormous information made available by government as well as individual survey and exploration. इनका था कि इंडिविजुअल सर्वे करना और इंडिविजुअल एक्सप्लोरेशन करना एंड challenges of presenting a systematic account of a highly diverse colonial empire. ये आपका ब्लॉक 2 का था, स्पेशल साइंस एंड राइज ऑफ ह्यूमनिस्टिक ज्योग्राफी। नाउ योर ब्लॉक 3, पॉलिटिकल, इकोनॉमिक एंड क्रिटिकल ज्योग्राफी। इसमें यूनिट 5 एंड 6 है। यूनिट 5 में आपका रेडिकल एंड लिबरल पर्सपेक्टिव है, यूनिट 6 में क्रिटिकल ज्योग्राफी है। फर्स्ट है आपका पॉलिटिकल इकोनॉमी एंड क्रिटिकल ज्योग्राफी में यूनिट 5 इज योर रेडिकल एंड लिबरल पर्सपेक्टिव्स। इसमें हम क्या कोशिश करेंगे इस चैप्टर में दिखाने के लिए? इट्स ट्राई टू हाईलाइट द रेडिकल and liberal perspectives by going to the root of the contradictions of modern society and making objective and scientific understanding to create a just and human society. There has also been an attempt to make aware of the path of the life world by traveling from information to realm of wisdom. The primary aim of this radical and liberal perspective is that to introduce the concept of structuralism and explain the production of nature and the contribution of David Harvey and David Smith. In radical and liberal perspective, in 20th century, it could be considered that one of the most controversial times in human history. It will witness some of the greatest and most spectacular achievements of human history in the field of science, in the field of technology, politics, economy, art, culture, health, and material prosperity. It is also credited with putting an end to the age-old contradictions of human society, thereby hardening the end of history. According to according to Francis Fukuyama, the 20th century witnessed the resolutions of two fundamental contradiction and prime movers of history, that is the struggle for redistribution and recognition. He advocated that the capitalist path of development based on individual freedom and democratic governance has contributed to resolving this social contradiction, and human beings have reached the end of history because today one cannot imagine a world which is non-capitalist and undemocratic. There are some few points which have been made in this unit to go the root of the apparent contradictions of the modern society. What are the contradictions of the modern society, and make an objective and scientific understanding to create a just human society in the following backdrops. We are in the age of information revolution. There are numerous channels of information providing more information than what the human mind is able to make sense out of this. Though there are great advantage of this information revolution, the trade of cost is so high that society in general is losing its critical faculty to judge critically. According to Eliot, once wrote, "Where is life? We have lost in living. Where is the wisdom? We have lost in knowledge. Where is the knowledge? We have lost in information." In this unit, an attempt has been made to take the student away from information through the path of knowledge into the realm of the wisdom and finally into the life world. स्ट्रक्चरलिज्म क्या है? व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय स्ट्रक्चरलिज्म? Structuralism, it is a contradiction in modern society. It is in modern society are so pervasive and entrenched that there exists no institution and individual who have the required wherewithal to provide relief to an individual and establish a just social order. Means the individual is more helpless and alienated than even before, which has been responded to differently across culture and times. There are some who believe that an individual is alienated and confused in a hostile world. There are others who opine that an individual is a bewildered in a mysterious and unknown world. There are some others who believe that an individual is lonely in an abstract world. There are still more who believe that an individual is struggling to escape from banal and illusory reality. The structuralists argue that for a proper and scientific understanding of human action, an analysis should be made at three level कि किस किस चीज पे एनालिसिस होना चाहिए, साइंटिफिक एनालिसिस होना चाहिए. पहला था उनका एट द लेवल ऑफ अपीयरेंस ऑफ सुपर स्ट्रक्चर. सेकेंड था at the level of processes of infrastructure. Third था at the level of imperatives of deep structure. According to structuralists, normal observers only apparent and encounter the apparent or the superstructure comprising. सुपरस्ट्रक्चर में क्या क्या इंक्लूड होता है? सुपरस्ट्रक्चर में आपका सोशल आएगा, कल्चरल आएगा, पॉलिटिकल आएगा, स्पेशल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन आएगा इन देयर डेली लाइफ्स which in the essence do not account for their own existence. The task of creating this lies with the processes of the infrastructure. They also believe that though it is difficult to comprehend the processes, the underlying structure which organize the rules, including synthesizing this into a meaningful system, are generated by the human mind, not through simple sense perception. दूसरा है स्ट्रक्चुरेशन. स्ट्रक्चुरेशन क्या है? ग्रीक स्कॉलर Eratosthenes defined geography as a branch of knowledge which is devoted to the study of land, feature, inhabitants, and phenomena on earth in 3rd BC. Since then, geographers across the world have debated apart from other things about the concept of land, the inclusion or the exclusion of human in the subject matter, and the scale of geographical inquiry. During his own time, Eratosthenes himself was greatly influenced by Euclidean geometry and used the area as a two-dimensional entity as the unity of study in geography, which for all practical purposes was an abstract entity. Since then, the discipline has traveled a long distance in terms of its subject matter as well as method of inquiry, with certain important milestones such as study of humanized nature and naturalized human between both reason and regional differentiation, space and spatialization. Few among such were concept of place, locality, which gained immense popularity in the postmodern discourses. Structuralism in human geography. The difference between the Marxist and the structuralist in view, the latter opened that the underlying structure which organize the rules, which organize the units into the meaningful systems are generated by the human mind and not by the sense perception. Human mind से उनका system generated होता था, sense से नहीं. They try to reduce complexity of human experience to certain underlying structure which are universal. They try to question the false polarization created between Durkheim and Radzel in the name of naturalization of human or humanization of nature, respectively, and try to replace it with the dialectical concept of structuration. David Harvey, in his seminar work, Social Justice and City, in his book, which is published in 1973, he attempted to analyze the processes of spatial organization in a city. He observed that socio-economic factors that, are the main reason for social segregation in the cities, which in turn reproduce the same social spatial relation. According to Johnston, the contribution of structural Marxist geography can be summarized as first is your explanation of pattern of spatial organization, explanation the patterns of spatial organization, and with human relations within the superstructure can only be understood as relations of economic processes operating in infrastructure. Second is your economic processes cannot be apprehended directly but only appreciated through the development of theories that are consistent with the outputs in the superstructure. थर्ड है आपका economic processes are continually changing and with them the outputs as a result universal laws of the superstructure cannot be derived. If the economic processes continue changing, then the output as a result did not give the same result, it also be changing. Class conflict is the central to the economic processes. Any attempt to retain the present superstructure by planning procedure based on positivist examination of the present can only help the present unjust system to survive. सेवेंथ है आपका नेक्स्ट पॉइंट है आपका अंडरस्टैंडिंग द प्रोसेसेस एंड देयर रिलेशन requires much closer cooperation among, if not integration, the social science. Then, therefore, the goal of academic work must be impaniciations leading to social change. ये था आपका स्ट्रक्चरलिज्म. स्ट्रक्चरलिज्म इन ह्यूमन ज्योग्राफी. देन है आपका कंट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ डेविड हार्वे एंड डेविड स्मिथ. डेविड हार्वे का क्या कंट्रीब्यूशन था और डेविड स्मिथ का क्या कंट्रीब्यूशन था ह्यूमनिस्टिक ज्योग्राफी अप्रोचेस को लेकर. अकॉर्डिंग टू डेविड हार्वे, he made his entry as a Marxist geographer when the discipline was sharply divided into campus of quantitative and logical positivism in geography. The height of quantitative revolution in the 1950s and 1960s after postmodernization, the geography was dominated by either old guard advocating regional discipline or young Turks propagating spatial theorization. Then Harvey made his academic orientation explicit by making a profound statement. Geography is concerned with description and explanation of areal differentiation of Earth surface as an assemble of disciplinary object, areal differentiation, and methods of understanding, description, explanation. From these philosophical and methodological proposition, Harvey's academic orientation graduated from the critique of modern science after Max Horkheimer, Thomas Kuhn, and Karl Popper, among others. Finally, David Harvey emerged as an important Marxist thinker in geography, though his book Explanation in Geography was still revered by logical positivism, because in that book the justification it provided for scientific geography methodology and his lack diaxial acceptance that with less rigid criteria it was possible to formulate laws in geography. Harvey always avoided taking absolute position about the geographical space as well as the laws. For him, the law in geography will be different from the law of physics, but similar to life science and economics. During the period 1970s and 1980s, the quantitative revolution of David Harvey was greatly influenced by the structural analysis in various discipline. In his book सोशल जस्टिस एंड सिटी, ये भी एक इम्पोर्टेंट है कि सोशल जस्टिस एंड सिटी किसने लिखा था? डेविड हार्वे इन 1970. सोशल जस्टिस एंड सिटी, हार्वे relied on structuralism without adhering too much to Levi-City, Levi-Strauss, and Althorus. In his book, he tried to bridge the gap that exists between two inconceivable modes of analysis, that is, the ethical and the scientific. Initially, his analysis was by the large moralistic, means normative approach, but subsequently, after his first-hand experience with the material conditions prevalent within the inner city of Baltimore, he changed his entire perception, including Kuhn's idealistic formulation, and accepted the importance of external anomalies in transforming the paradigms of knowledge, which moved us closer to J.D. Bernal's postulating regarding the role of material forces of society, such as industrial and financial interest in manipulating scientific research. On the contrary, David Harvey, there is the commodity in David Harvey, there is the nothing more totalizing than the penetration of capitalist social relation and the commodity calculus into every niche of contemporary life. So, in defense of Marxist geography, he proposed the following 5 thesis in order to develop people's geography. क्या क्या थे? First था a popular geography free from prejudices but reflective of real conflicts and contradiction, can open channels of communication and common understanding. Second है a people's geography is not beholden to narrow or powered special interests but instead broadly democratic. Third है a dual methodological, means methodological, your natural or scientific integrity, dual methodological commitment to the scientific and neutrally. Fourth है geographical sensitivities integrated into general social theories from the historical materialist tradition. Fifth है आपका political project that see the transitions from capitalism to socialism in historic geographically terms. नेक्स्ट ये था हार्वे का। डेविड स्मिथ का था, डेविड स्मिथ द डिकेड ऑफ द 1960s एंड 1970 he proved to be a watershed in every sphere of social life. The economic boom after Second World War was almost over, and the label of social economic disparities were increasing when leaps and bounds. The popularity of the quantitative revolution, mainly focusing on data, methods, techniques, was almost on to decline. People were up in the arms against human right violation, particularly by the state. Civil rights movements and movements against was particularly the Vietnam War and student unrest in 1968 in the United States of America, France, and other European countries compelled nearly all the disciplines to articulate the genuine concern of the people. The dependency school of scholar जो डेविड स्मिथ को फॉलो करते थे, उनका school of scholar blamed the incorporations of every economy, big and small, in the world market, and particularly the participation of the post colonies as unequal partners subjected to the imposition of unequal exchanges throughout the colonial period, responsible for the uneven development. There were other like American cultural geographer like Zelensky, who took a middle path to, instead of blaming of exploitations of the colonies by the metropolitan countries, he put the blame on the growth syndrome in the developed world, characterized by acceleration in their production and consumption of commodities. The book Where the Grass is Greener, ये भी एक है, Where the Grass is Greener, a geographical perspective on inequality in 1977, and Human Geography, a welfare approach in 1977. ये दो बुक डेविड स्मिथ का था, लिखा हुआ था। ये वाला आता है Where the Grass is Greener, a geographical perspective on inequality. Social production of nature. नेक्स्ट है आपका सोशल प्रोडक्शन ऑफ नेचर। सोशल प्रोडक्शन ऑफ नेचर क्या करता है? सोशल प्रोडक्शन ऑफ नेचर मेक्स एन ontological shift because nature, which was traditionally conceived either as non-human creation or an entity which is beyond human control, was replaced by Neil Smith and David Harvey concept of social production of nature under capitalism. According to Smith, the concept of nature as non-human creation external to human society is a part and partial of the ideology of graded and society divided into classes. Neil Smith prefers to take a more balanced position and distanced himself from these wide and narrow views on the production of nature respectively. He, along with David Harvey, argue that the process of production of labor involves the whole system of capitalist economic relation and commodity production, including exchange, distribution, and competition. His production of nature thesis is more acceptable largely because it reinforces the proposition Marx made about the organic, reciprocal relationship between nature and humans. Smith and Harvey proposed the following three things. What are these? The relationship between nature and humans are not binary, meaning it considering that nature external to human beings, the entire discourse of nature degenerates either into environmentalism or neo-Malthusianism and advocates for limit to growth. Means both conservation of nature, which is imposing your social sanction on the use of nature, or advocates complete to control the mastery over nature, both position and detrimental to the proper understanding of nature and society. Second है आपका emphasizing the ability of human to produce nature instead of nature as primordial unpacked. Third है taking a critical view of the world, particularly last 2 decades have witnessed an emergent restructuring of geographical space more dramatic than any before. These three hypotheses proposed by Smith and Harvey, though apparently go against the Marxist understanding of nature, yet these have contributed immensely to reconstructing the concept of nature advocated by Marx. His concept of uneven development, focusing mainly on an anti essential understanding of nature, brought him within the fold of the Marxist concept of nature. नेक्स्ट यूनिट आपका है क्रिटिकल ज्योग्राफी. क्रिटिकल ज्योग्राफी में इसमें आपका है ओरिजिन ऑफ क्रिटिकल ज्योग्राफी, रेडिकल ज्योग्राफी, क्रिटिकल ज्योग्राफी, ज्योग्राफीज ऑफ जेंडर एंड फेमिनिस्ट ज्योग्राफीज, then post structural geographies, post colonial human geographies, rise of technologies and changing perspective on space and place, contemporary concern and critics. ये सब है, ये सब पढ़ेंगे अभी क्रिटिकल ज्योग्राफी में. व्हाट आर क्रिटिकल ज्योग्राफीज? हाउ डज एडिंग द प्रीफिक्स critical alter or enhance the scope of subject matter of geography? In what context did critical geography emerge? What do critical geographers do differently in their research? To begin with, the development of critical geographies has to be traced against a background of the history of geography and different philosophical influence on the disciplines such as realism, feminism, Marxism, postmodernism, post-structuralism, and post-colonialism. It is against the background of this philosophical influence that we can understand geographies of gender and feminist geographies, geographies of difference, post structural and post colonial geographies. Finally, as a result of these developments, perspective on space and place too have undergone a huge shift. All these interesting aspects are discussed within this unit. Origin of critical geographies. Critical geographies have developed against a background of critique of positivism and quantification. Earlier influence of the work of Kropotkin, Kropotkin, Barber, Wittfogel, and Latimore, as well as the end of the Vietnam War in USA. Critical geographies have developed against a background of critics of positivism and quantification, earlier of Kropotkin, Barber, Wittfogel, and Latimore, as well as the end of the Vietnam War in USA. In early 1970s, the emergence of the radical geography, a critique of overwhelming use of quantitative method within the paradigm of areal differentiation and spatial organization, and the inability of the geography to addresses issue of hunger, poverty, inequality, civil rights, and other social issue was being increasingly raised, especially in the US. Against this background, in 1969, the journal Antipode was launched. Antipode was radical and carried papers that addressed social issues such as poverty, such as races, inequalities, civil rights, and was also anti-war. The author was strongly influenced by the ideas of Marx, and the journal emerged as a forum for Marxist and feminist and the socialist geography. Another key milestone in the development of radical or critical geography was the strong resolution passed against the Vietnam War in 1971. Meeting of the Association of American Geographer in Boston. Here, the relevance debate was raised, emphasizing the need for geography and geographers to address contemporary politically concern and issue of social relevance. Eventually, within the radical geography, within the radical geography, in 1970s, three distinct streams are there. One is behavioral, second is feminist, third one is your Marxist. Radical stream emerged. These streams developed as a critique of quantification with geography and its failure to address pressing social issue that could not be quantified. Behavioral geographers were preoccupied with the way of spatial decision were made, believing that decision making could be predicted. The role of knowledge, perception, etc., guided this spatial decision. Meanwhile, Marxist or radical geography were deeply influenced by the writing of Karl Marx and examined questions related to inequality and uneven development. Feminist geographer noted the absence of women and women issues in geography and focuses on visibilizing women in the discipline. Critical geographies have their roots in this early stage of radical geography and remain committed to questions of social justice, equity, and equality. Then है आपका radical geography and critical geography. Radical geography, critical geography में differences क्या है? How do critical geographies differ from radical geographies? Both the radical and critical geographies have much in common, but one way of looking at the that critical geographies of the 1990s developed from the radical geographies of the 70s. रेडिकल ज्योग्राफी से डेवलप्ड हुआ है क्रिटिकल ज्योग्राफीज इन द ईयर 1990s. Critical geographies are influenced by the cultural turn and philosophies of post-structuralism, while the radical geographers who are influenced by Marxism. This has meant that while radical geographers lay greater emphasis on economic questions and the influence of economic structure in shaping society, critical geographers explore more cultural questions related to identity. रेडिकल का इम्फोसाइज किस पे था? इकोनॉमिक स्ट्रक्चर पे था जो से सोसाइटी को शेपिंग करता था. क्रिटिकल ज्योग्राफर का एक्सप्लोरेशन था रिलेटेड टू आइडेंटिटी इन कल्चरल स्पेस, रिप्रेजेंटेशन, उनका एक्सपीरियंस और डिस्क्रिमिनेशंस अगेंस्ट और मार्जिनलाइज्ड पीपल, इन पे था क्रिटिकल critical geographies. In comparison to radical geography, critical geography places more emphasis on human agencies and the multiplicity of perspectives, rejecting the ideas of both structure and a single theory. Critical geographers draw on a wide range of theories, including anti imperialism, feminism, anti racism, and others, and strongly believed in the value of praxis, that is, the attachment of theory, or in simpler word, they follow the theoretical position in daily life too. Critical geographers also place a lot of emphasis on representation, both as a means of domination and resistance to the same domination. One very common example of this is power of cartoon and memes. Who is making this? What are these resisting? How are different communities represented? Similarly, for critical geographer, space is crucial as a tool, not simply a backdrop against which events unfold. According to them, produce operations and inequality. Next is your geographies of gender and feminist geographies. I will come after 2 minutes. I will start then. Next one is your geographies of gender and feminist geographies. Gender based means gender based inequalities which intersect with sex, sexuality, race, and so on remain one of the greatest global injustice according to data in 2020. The discipline of geography has been particularly male dominated, and for a major part of the discipline's history, women and women's issue did not find space within the discipline. In other words, we can say that women as practitioner and subject were practically invisible in mainstream of geography. How did this change? How has the subfield of the geography of gender taken space? Shape. What about our Indian context? Geographies of gender and feminist geographies were influenced by the theories of feminism, Marxism, anti capitalism, globalization, and a host of other. It remains among one of the most theoretically rich and diverse stand of critical geography. How it is emerged in the early 70s and enlarged its scope. The second wave of feminist movement was unfolding in the 70s along with the discussion over civil rights, racism, patriarchy, and other structures that perpetuated inequality. Against this background, the absence of women and the women issues from the discipline as well as subject matter of geography began being raised in the 70s 1970s. Some of the early publications that addressed this question were Jelinski in 1973 paper title called The Strange Case of the Missing Female Geographer. In his book in 1973, The Strange Case of Missing Female Geographer, Monk and Hanson in 1982 essay on not excluding half of the human in human geography was another. One second. Sorry. Mm. In 1970s, at the same time, the theoretical base of Marxism that had influenced the radical geographers did not take into account that unpaid work women did in their household and their entire spectrum of care work that women routinely undertook. Geography of gender and feminist geography took root against this background. It shared the critique of positivism and the need to make the discipline of geography more relevant and inclusive. But in its early stage, it was focused that on visibilizing of women and women's issue within geography. Hence, the focus of research and writing was on documenting women's lives in different spatial contexts. Alison Tivers' paper, How the Other Half Lives, the Geographical Study of Women, published in the journal Area in 1978, is an example of feminism. In this early phase, the beginning from the mid 70s and stretching to the mid to the late 80s, the focus remained on gender role within different spatial context. Basically, this stream of writing observed the disadvantages women in different parts of the world experienced, their concentrations and inequalities, vice versa, man and the spatial variation in gender roles. Gradually, sometimes in the mid of 1980s, the focus of feminist geographer shifted from gender roles to gender relation. As feminist geographer attempted to explain the pattern and causes of inequality, noting that patriarchy and capitalism intersect to produce women's oppressions. They used the theory of Marxism, anti-capitalism, and feminism in their work. There are some views between the organic and specific. There are some views. The availability of gender segregated data from 1990s, participation of women geographers from India in international research group and project, the publication of gender atlases in the 1980s and 90s, courses on geography of gender in UGC model syllabus in 2000 and subsequently introduced in several university also. Viewing the growth of the subfield in India against the four standard or phases of feminist geographies, one can see that here primary stream, क्या क्या स्ट्रीम था? एक था ज्योग्राफी ऑफ वुमेन, दूसरा था सोशलिस्ट फेमिनिस्ट ज्योग्राफी, थर्ड वन इज फेमिनिस्ट ज्योग्राफीज ऑफ डिफरेंसेस, फेमिनिस्ट ट्रांसवर्सल ज्योग्राफीज. ज्योग्राफी ऑफ वुमेन में इसमें था जेंडर रोल इन डिफरेंट स्पाशियल कंसेप्ट कंटेक्स्ट. डिस्क्रिप्शन था पैटर्न्स ऑफ इनइक्वालिटी को लेकर ज्योग्राफी ऑफ वुमेन में. सोशलिस्ट फेमिनिस्ट ज्योग्राफी में इसमें था जेंडर रिलेशन and role of capitalism and patriarchy in shaping inequality. फेमिनिस्ट ज्योग्राफीज ऑफ डिफरेंसेस में था, इसमें डाइवर्सिटी जितने थे, डिफरेंसेस आपके आइडेंटिटी थे, एसेप्ट्स ऑफ लोकेशन, ये सब आपके फेमिनिस्ट ज्योग्राफीज ऑफ डिफरेंसेस में थे. फेमिनिस्ट ट्रांसवर्सल ज्योग्राफीज में आपके थे माइग्रेशन था, सिटीजनशिप था, भावलेशन था, इमोशंस था, मोबिलिटी था, अफेक्शन था. नेक्स्ट है आपका ज्योग्राफी ऑफ डिफरेंसेस. ज्योग्राफीज ऑफ डिफरेंसेस, क्या है डिफरेंसेस है ज्योग्राफी में? फॉर ज्योग्राफर, recognizing the differences mean not just recognizing that inequalities, but we can arise out of different context of social location, but also how the boundaries of exclusion can also be based on race, classes, gender, or sexuality, physical ability, etc. It is our social behavior, it is our social practices that very often reproduce and strengthen these boundaries. Differences result in unequal access to resources, knowledge, and power. For example, colored people located in the global south are likely to have unequal status within academia due to inequalities in research funding. रिसर्च फंडिंग में भी इनइक्वालिटीज किया जाता था, तो उसमें डिफरेंस रिजल्ट इन अनइक्वल एक्सेस टू रिसोर्सेस, आपका हो गया नॉलेज एंड पावर. फॉर एग्जांपल, colored people located in the global south are likely to have an unequal status with academia due to inequalities in research funding. जो भेदभाव होता था, गोरे लोग और काले लोग में भेदभाव, रेसिज्म में डिफरेंशियल करना, ये सब इसके द्वारा इनइक्वालिटीज के जो हो रहा था, इससे इन लोगों को रिसर्च फंडिंग कम मिलता था. Another example is that of slum dwellers in any mega city. Here you can notice how caste boundaries become synonymous with spatial boundaries between a small slum and an adjacent high-rise apartment complex. जहाँ पे स्लम लोग रहते हैं, जहाँ पे अपार्टमेंट है, उसमें आप डिफरेंस देख सकते हो कि कितना वहां पे डिफरेंसेस है, ड्यू टू रिसोर्सेस, ड्यू टू इकोनॉमिक, ड्यू टू कल्चरल, ड्यू टू पॉलिटिकल, ये सब आप डिफरेंसेस वहां पे देख सकते हो. These social differences is often synonymous with spatial differences and operated through a segregations of people based on the social differences of races, class, gender, sexuality, disability, and so on. Geographies of differences allow us to able to think about the exclusion and discrimination arising out of boundaries that are socially constructed through the practices in our social life. These differences and experiences of exclusion can also be the basis for foregoing alliances and solidarity among socially excluded groups. Yet, while forming these alliances, the differences within this oppressed and marginalized group means जो निचले वर्ग के लोग होते हैं, may be overlooked in what is termed as strategic essentialism, that is choosing to overlook differences. Strategic essentialism from the Indian context is the struggle against casteism by the Dalit, Bahujan, Adivasi movements. Here shared the aims of Dalit, Bahujan, Adivasis community are highlighted rather than intra-community differences. नेक्स्ट है आपका पोस्ट स्ट्रक्चरल ज्योग्राफीज. इन पोस्ट स्ट्रक्चरल ज्योग्राफीज we need to understand against the philosophy of structuralism. Structuralism had a short but important influence on the discipline of geography. Originally associated with linguistics, with an influence among other social sciences, the philosophy of structuralism advocated that our cultural life was framed within deep rooted underlying structures. Such structures guided or determining the spectrum of human action. क्या क्या human actions है? एक है construct type human action और एक है process type human action. Within this structure, there were little scope for human agencies. However, in construct type structure were more rigid and seen as permanent or mostly unchanging, whereas process type structures changed slowly through time. The latter was of relatively more interest to geographer in the field of linguistic, the way language was structured with signifiers and signified containing both literal and metaphorical meanings was seen in the work of Saussure. Similarly, in anthropology, the structure of kinship revolving around the principle of descent and marriage were explained by Levi Strauss. And in psychology, Piaget developed his theory of conjunctive development comprising four distinct states. Reading the urban landscape in terms of underlying structure will show that it is the structure of caste, class, capitalism, patriarchy that influence and shape the urban and rural landscape around you. In post-structural geographies, it rejects the ideas of a stable world or stable truth, arguing that it is a language and enunciation that makes the world seem stable and fixed. That is, the facts or truth is unstable, fluid, and in processes. The main concern of post structural geographies have been to expose the way in which geographies attempt to classify knowledge, maintains the myth of a stable world. In these post structural geographies are critical of any form of knowledge that seeks to represent the truth and instead are more concerned with understanding the complexity of the social world, which is trying to uncover what power means, where the power is located, and what or whose truth are privileged as fact and who is excluded. Issues of identity and differences, layered meaning, and reading space as a text all find a place within post structural geographies. The cultural turns of in early 1980s that post structuralism has had a profound influence on the way we do in geography. Next is your post colonial geographies. In post colonial geographies, present yet another stream of critical geographies. Such geographies relate to the way geographies of formerly colonized communities and space are being rewritten from the perspective of the colonized communities. The complicated relationship between colonized nation and former colonized shape this rewriting according to Zorzery. Such geographies present the following. First one a close and critical reading of colonial discourse. Second, an understanding of the complicated and fractured history through which colonialism passes from the past into the present. Third, a mapping of the ways in which metropolitan and colonial society are drawn together in the waves of affinity, influence, and dependence. Fourth, a sensitivity to the political implications of the way history is constructed. In post colonial geographies, are thus a new emerging area that contest the colonizer writing or gauge put forward perspective from the point of view of those who were colonized. This means it resist colonial narratives, try to map new form of colonialism or the way colonialism reproduce itself, and also it replaced the way in which the colonized society were interpreted and documented by the colonizer. Dismantling such as reading is the most crucial part of doing post colonial geographies. Such geographies are em- emancipatory as they present space for colonized people to write their own history and interpret their own societies, unlike the deracinated account of society and space produced by the colonizer, or they are representative of post colonial geographies are more authentic. Both the post-structural and post-colonial geographies are critiqued as being very abstract and distracted from the real problem of the world. However, both are ancillary and provide new ways of thinking about the world and how we create or know it. Next one is your 6.8, Rise of Technologies and Changing Perspective on Space and Place. In critical geography, we have enabled us to move beyond the concept of real space to explore many new, exciting new ideas of space. The ideas of space is no longer confined to the idea of geomorphic space and the astronomical location. The idea of a cultural landscape also came into prominence. Some of the newer concepts of space that have come into uses within critical geographies are lived in space, third space, imaginative space, cyberspace, textual space, etc. The idea of lived space is similar to the idea of life world given earlier by humanistic geographers. Lived space. Lived space refers to those everyday space that individuals and communities save and are also saved by such space are inseparable from their everyday geographies. In the same way, the idea of third space has been used by Lefebvre in 1991, Bhava in 1990, Shoja in 1996 as an alternative to positivism, tangible, real space. It stems from Lefebvre spatial triad and triad of space, where space is seen as socially produced through a set of spatial practices and representation. Third space can be called the space of representation. They are spaces over which life is lived. To this, according to Bhava, she adds the notion of cultural hybridity. Simply put, such hybridity arises from the encounters between colonizer and colonized. Thus, in Bhava views, the third space are alternatives and hybrid space, and also the space of resistance and identity. I will start within 1 minute. I will take some water. After that, I will start. Next one is your rise of technologies and changing perspective on space and place. This one, yeah, this one is the finish. I think this one is finished. Contemporary concern and critique. Last one is your contemporary concern and critique. After studying about the development and research themes in critical geographies, these are shaped by the global and local context. The world over, the year 2020 and 2021 have been in the grip of global pandemic. How have these played out for different communities? What are the social features that the pandemic has exposed? Have access to vaccine been uniform or not? Has the lockdown related livelihood loss impacted some sanction more than others? Have experience of racism being heightened? What kind of implication has working online and from home had on your everyday lives? Has online learning been accessible to all children or not? What happened to the borders during the pandemic? These are some of the themes critical geographers are currently researching? What are the some of other contemporary themes that you feel critical geographers from India might be interested in? In India, critical approach to geography and the subfield of critical geography remains shell small but with exciting potential. Caste, ethnicity, gender, sexuality, space, and resistance are some of the research themes that the small group of critical geographers are engaged in. Despite its exciting potential, critical geography has drawn the following critics. First, critics, it is a wide field, but the prefix critical has not been fully explained or agreed to. It is seen more as an approach with a collection of themes and methods. Critic 2, in a policy research environment, critical geography has limited scope due to its rejection of perspective solution and emphasis on explanatory processes. Third critics is that over time the subfield of critical geography has become central to geographical research in the western world. This institutionalization may have blunted its commitment to political change. Now all the block are finished. Your block 3 political, economic and critical geography was finished. Unit 5 radical and liberal perspective critical geography is also finished. Geographical thought MGG 001 and MGG 008 finished. Whatever may you have questions or doubts, you can just send me in a group right now. I have to just check it and message in there. In group, I will send you some important questions regarding your advance in geographical thought. Long type question and short type question also I will send you in the group. Basically, what type of questions are coming in exam? I will send you the questions and I will help it out through your assignment. What are the assignment is given to you? So I can help you or guide you for the completion of your assignment.
Ma'am,
Yes.
good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, beta.
Ma'am, is there any official group? I'm not informed about the group.
There is I don't know any official group of this paper, but students are having group in unofficial group, not official, unofficial group.
Yes,
They have
ma'am.
met the unofficial group.
Okay, ma'am. I will inquire about it then, ma'am.
Anyone have any doubt?
ये मैडम असाइनमेंट रिलेटेड मैडम।
या जोर से बोलो, थोड़ा ऑडिबल नहीं हो रहा है।
मैडम बोल रहे हैं असाइनमेंट का जो पेपर है वो कहाँ से लाए? चलिए
असाइनमेंट
ऑनलाइन
का
से लाए। हाँ
असाइनमेंट का
असाइन
पेपर
हाँ A4 साइज का है कि कौन
वो
सा
तो मिल
स्क्रॉल का?
जाएगा, वो तो आपको बुक शॉप में मिलेगा असाइनमेंट का
बुक शॉप से
पेपर।
नहीं, अमेजन हम लोग अमेजन से भी जो उसका है वो ले सकते हैं क्या?
अच्छा, वो तो मिल जाएगा, A4 साइज का तो मिल जाता है।
उसको एक्चुअली मैडम क्या A4 साइज का लेना पड़ेगा कि और कोई साइज का है?
नहीं नहीं नहीं, A4 आपका लिखा होगा, गाइडलाइंस दिया होगा रिगार्डिंग आपका असाइनमेंट, गाइडलाइंस दिया रहता है कि किस तरह से असाइनमेंट करना है। A4 है या A3 है, आपका रूलिंग है या वो क्या है, वो आप जब
मैम,
असाइनमेंट का
रूलिंग
देखोगे
या प्लेन मेंशन नहीं हुआ है।
तो
तो
इसके
आप
लिए मैडम आप गाइड कर देंगे ना वो
तो फिर
आंसर?
आप प्लेन प्लेन पेपर में लिखो, रूलिंग तो ज्यादातर नहीं होता, प्लेन पेपर होता है, प्लेन पेपर में आप असाइनमेंट
नहीं
लिखो।
मैडम, उसके बाद भी रिजेक्ट हो जाएगा देन प्रॉब्लम ना।
अच्छा ठीक है, मैं कंफर्म करके बोलती हूँ आपको, मैसेज ग्रुप में दे दूंगी कि रूलिंग में लिखना है या व्हाइट पेपर में लिखना है असाइनमेंट, ठीक है। आफ्टर
और ऐसा
कंफर्मेशन फ्रॉम द
हाँ
सेंटर आई विल सेंड यू द मैसेज इन ए ग्रुप, रूलिंग में लिखना है या A4 साइज व्हाइट
मैडम,
पेपर में
कौन सा
लिखना
ग्रुप में आप मैसेज देंगे वही पूछना है।
है। ग्रुप एक बच्चों ने बनाया है, स्टूडेंट्स ने बनाया है एक ग्रुप।
आप उसमें है क्या?
हाँ,
ओके मैडम।
स्टूडेंट्स ने बनाया है।
ठीक है मैडम, थैंक यू।
ठीक है।
हेलो
हाँ बोलो।
मैडम, अभी डिस्कनेक्ट हो जाए ना?
डिस्कनेक्ट 6 बजे होगा। आपका अगर कुछ क्वेरीज पूछना है तो आप बोलिए, कुछ पूछना है तो बोलिए।
अभी मैडम क्लास खत्म हो गया तो डिस्कनेक्ट होना ही तो ठीक रहेगा ना।
नहीं, मैंने डाउट क्लियर रखा ना, कुछ आपको पूछना है, किस चीज रिगार्डिंग क्वेरीज है तो आप पूछ सकते हो, उसके बाद मैं आपको वो करूंगी।
मैम, मैम अबाउट द क्वेश्चंस असाइनमेंट्स।
हाँ बोलो, पूछो।
मैम, वो जो मार्क सेपरेशन हुआ है 5 मार्क्स 10 मार्क्स का, जो लॉन्ग क्वेश्चंस का मतलब मिनिमम या मैक्सिमम कुछ पेजेस है, कितना अमाउंट लिखना है?
पेजेस नहीं, अमाउंट नहीं, पेजेस नहीं होता, वर्ड्स पे डिपेंड करता है। मैक्सिमम इतने वर्ड्स होंगे, पेजेस पे नहीं। अब कोई
ओके मैम।
10 लाइन एक पेज में लिखेगा, कोई 10 लाइन हाफ पेज में भी लिखेगा, लेकिन इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन द वर्ड। तो आपको जब क्वेश्चन आएगा उसमें लिखा रहता है कि अबाउट 300 वर्ड और 500 वर्ड या कितना कितना है, अकॉर्डिंग टू मार्क दे हैव गिवन टू यू वर्ड। तो वो डिपेंड करता है, आपका 2 पेज पे आएगा या 1 पेज पे आएगा। लेकिन जब भी
ओके
लिखना
मैम।
ना, नीट एंड क्लीन लिखना, और स्पेस हमेशा, आप जब भी लिखते हो एक पैराग्राफ के नीचे एक स्पेस देके दूसरा स्टार्ट करना है। ऐसा नहीं कि ऐसे की तरह उसको लिखते गए, पूरा कॉपी जो भी देखेगा पूरा जैसे लगेगा कि पूरा भरा भरा, कहीं जगह भी नहीं होगा, उसको दिक्कत होगा पढ़ने के लिए। इसलिए हमेशा मेंटेन करना थोड़ा स्पेस, और थोड़ा नीट एंड क्लीन लिखोगे तो इजी होगा किसी किसी को वो करने के लिए।
ओके मैम, थैंक यू मैम।
ओके। ओके बाय देन। ओके बाय।